afternoon and welcome to our special live coverage. As it is expected that the anti-establishment protesters will rally in front of the parliament today in an attempt to pressure the Senate not to vote against the Move Forward Party's leader, Pita Limjaroenrat, as the next prime minister. And as we've reported previously, there have been some senators that have expressed their standpoints that they will not vote for Pita because of the lèse-majesté law. And it has been announced by anti-government protesters that they will hold a rally today to pressure these senates as well.
Yes, and they said they're going to meet up at 5 p.m. There will be some kind of Hyde Park, some speech going on the stage and whatnot. Just they want to make sure that the Senate can hear what they have to say, and they want the Senate to vote in line with the people that vote for Move Forward Party. But like Nat said, that a lot of senators said that one reason that they will not vote for Pita to be prime minister because the intention to propose the amendment to the Article 112 or lèse-majesté law. It is interestingly though, yesterday at the MOU signing ceremony, in the document itself, didn't really say anything about amending 112.
Right, because most of the policies that have been laid out in that particular MOU, 23 policies did not mention about 112, but they mentioned about economic development, education, public health reforms, but it has been speculated that the Move Forward Party will propose the amendments of Section 112 separately. But then, like we said, the senators will not vote for Pita because of this one. And that was yesterday that was last week where Move Forward Party announced its coalition partners with other parties. And yesterday, they have actually announced the MOU, the details of what will be proposed once they are actually the government.
So and in the MOU, even though they didn't say anything about amending 112, it did say though that all parties agree that every mission that the government will do must not affect the country's status as a unitary state, the country's status as a democracy under a constitutional monarchy framework, and the inviolable status of the monarch. So that's, I think it's making a lot of people confused. Are you going to amend or what? If you're going to amend, why you said that these countries, it won't be anything that violate whatever going on with the status.
But speaking of that, Section 112 has been considered one of the highlight policies by Move Forward Party. And throughout the campaign trail, they've been saying that they are going to amend Section 112 because there are issues within that. The issue that they've been talking about is the severity of the punishment and how it has been used, especially during recent years where a number of people were convicted of lèse-majesté.
We talk about 112, there's a lot of issues in there because there are also people that support the royal family that they want to amend 112, but they want to make it more clear of how to exercise this article, how to use it, make it more inclusive, make it more descriptive per se. But when Move Forward talking about this, they were talking about reducing penalty or sentence. Anyway, talking about Move Forward and Pita, and the reason we are live today because the anti-establishment supporters say they're going to gather in front of the parliament, like we said, to pressure the senators. And we have Frank in the field today, just going to take us to see what's going on there right now. So Frank, hi, how is it over there in front of the parliament?
At the back of me, there are more and more international and local media coming up. And actually today, the United Front of Homicide and Demonstration, they are going to doing a rally about the support for the head of Move Forward Party, Pita Limjaroenrat, from the senators to support him to become the prime minister. And you can see actually right now at the back of me, there a small stage there. We're gonna begin. I mean, the rally will begin with public talk at 5 p.m. But right now, already past 5 p.m., we need to wait for maybe some minutes for the public talk to start. But I think the most important session is after the public talk. There will be a public talk afterwards, and there's a public announcement for those senators who actually public say that they will vote for Pita, and they will also invite those who haven't said anything to vote for Pita or not to invite them to join UTF, United Front of
the UFTD, right?
UFTD, right. So actually, right now we can see these dynamic things here. You can see at the back there are some music playing on, and some people actually they wear the clothes as in they want move forward.
Right.
They want the Senate to vote for move forward, and they want the amendment of Section 112 to be realized. And actually, you can see that from there, not many people at the scene, but actually we will wait for some minutes for people to gather and wait for the public talk to begin.
I believe that, actually the Senate were scheduled to have some meeting this morning, and a lot of it scheduled to finish by early afternoon. But do you see any movement inside the fence of the Parliament House?
So when I just arrived, actually around like 4:30, we saw some police van out of the Parliament, but actually according to my sources, the riot police right now is ready in the Parliament, but they wouldn't, of course, do any arbitrary act to come out to fight against the protester. We believe, because I talked to one of the staff of United Front of Thammasat in the demonstration, and he said that today he expects a peaceful rally because they just want to talk about the public talk. They just want to talk about how the senators should support Pita Limjaroenrat. And right now, actually, they just want to ask the Senate and those 250 senators to support the democratic system that Move Forward Party won the majority seat in the election. So let's listen to how he wants to say to us and to the media.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for this interview. This is Angelo from United Front of Thammasat demonstration. My first question is why UTFD chose the plaza in front of the Parliament as the rally?
Well, we chose Parliament because, well, first of all, it's the working place of the current members of the Senate. So we want to be able to directly appeal to them, directly talk to them nearby their workplace. But more importantly is the fact that Parliament serves as the home, the embodiment of our right to exercise our supreme power over the land. So that is why we chose Parliament here today.
Yes, the good news is actually 20, around 20 senators, they support Pita publicly, but there's still the majority of the senators, they haven't said anything or declined to support Pita. What's your words to them?
Well, we would just like to remind them that, we are in a democratic regime with a king of head of state, and, therefore we would like them to be within the limits of democracy and follow with the principles of democracy, which is to base their vote for Prime Minister on the majority of the people. We're not asking any more further than just following the principles of democracy itself today. And also, of course, as you mentioned, there are around 20 or so senators who have already expressed the intention to vote for Kun Pita, and we would also like to thank them and bring attention to them also that, not all senators are bad or so on. There are senators who are supportive of democracy and so on, and that's who we would like to bring attention to.
So that's right. So you want them to just follow the democratic system and just support Pita as the majority seat right now, who gained the majority seat in the election. Thirdly, I think it's a little bit important for you to answer. Right now, some analysts say that actually Pita and Move Forward Party should just talk to senators. They should publicly talk to them or going to join the session of Senate to talk to them to explain the policy of Move Forward Party. Do you think this is a great move?
Well, yes, I agree, because of course in a functioning democracy there has to be a lot of talking and discussion, and how we convince each other isn't through violence but through negotiations and talking. However, if we're going to talk about that as an excuse to not have any form of public participation or protest, I think is too far, because no matter what government it is, the fundamentals of democracy need to be protected, need to be realized, and that includes the freedom, the right to assembly.
So as what Angelo said, actually, he just wants a senator to follow the norm of democracy and let democracy decide. And that it means that the united front of Thammasat and the demonstration wants the rest of senator who haven't said anything or who decline to support no four party to join them to vote for Pita as the next prime minister. But that's the difficult point right now, because actually Move Forward Party hasn't publicly joined any Senate session or talk to senator publicly on the table to gain support from Senate. So this is the difficult point, and this is really key for Move Forward to go on to get Pita on the seat of next prime minister in Thailand.
Chance to talk to any of the Move Forward Party supporters that came to the rally today?
I'm still on the site today, and actually right now there's not much people on site right now. We only have the staff of United Front of Demonstration, Thammasat demonstration, and I think I can walk around to see the environment for you, and you can see right now there are some people actually playing the music and dancing, and they are actually selling some juices for people to drink. I can go around to let you see the environment, and actually, to be honest, before the talk, I think today maybe it will be a peaceful rally for us. And this is what I have seen right now. There is no violence. There's no violence. There's no aggressive move from the attendees. And right now we can see this is peaceful, and people are still waiting for the public talk. And as what I said, actually yesterday I asked question actually in the ceremony of MOU signing to Pita about today's protest, and he said that actually he is respecting the democratic values. He respect democracy, as in people have the right to do freedom of assembly, of course, peacefully, and three pillars in the democratic society. One is of course election, and second one is freedom of speech, and third one of course is the control of agenda. So right now we are waiting for the public talk, and we can see more and more media coming up. Yes, what I have right now to you guys.
Okay, there's a lot of media there we see now. So Frank, we will go back to you in next 15-20 minutes, and I believe by that time there are probably more people, and there probably be someone on the stage already. So we'll get back to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, just to give a recap of the reason why these anti-establishment protesters came together today, because they explained on its previous post that it appears that some of the senators do not agree with the aspirations of the people, and they are ready to negate the people's choice of prime minister and stop change by all means. So to keep it simple, they felt that they are here to demand the Senate to respect the people's voices and the votings from the elections last week, where most of them would have voted for the Move Forward Party. So therefore, they felt that the Senate should respect the decisions by the people.
Some people believe, though, that they're coming out a little too soon, because the MOU signing was just yesterday, and they were just talk. And actually, yesterday at the signing ceremony, Pita told the media that Move Forward Party has organized a negotiation team sent in to talk to the senators to explain their standpoints, their policy, and see what's going on. And he actually from what he said, he sounds positive about what's going on behind the scene.
Right, but even though they haven't really talked to the senators yet, but today Pita has met with the Federation of Thai Industries today to explain their policies on improving the economy, especially with the increase of the daily minimum wage, and this is actually among other issues as well. So Move Forward Party's leader Pita Limjaroenrat met with the Federation of Thai Industries today to seek more details about the 6 proposals by the Joint Standing Committee on Commerce, Industry and Banking. He said he would explain his party's policies on driving the economy against the backdrop of a slow world economy. He also hoped that with his explanations, businessmen will have a clearer picture of his party's platforms. Pita's party's election manifesto promised to raise the minimum wage to 450 baht immediately if his party won the election. Pita told reporters that after gathering information from the private sector and SME labor about the minimum wage, he will bring the matter for discussion with his party's transition panel as well as his coalition partners this week. He also emphasized that the Pita Party, the number 2 in the coalition, supported the idea to raise the minimum wage. This would not be the first time that the minimum wage would rise this much, from about 353 baht in Bangkok to 450 baht. And during Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawat's time, the minimum wage actually increased to 300 baht throughout the country. Pita's transition panel is actually studying the effects of the increase in 2013. And later today, Pita also gave a press conference at the Move Forward Party's headquarters after the meeting on this issue. So now let's have a listen to what Pita had to say on this issue.
To prevent, these stabilizing factors within the economy, financial markets, and financial indicators, I have set up the transition team to start the dialogue, to prevent any misunderstanding with the private sectors, with the NGOs, with the educators, as well as the people, just to make sure that they get to ask the questions for transparency of our collective policies. And we have started today with the Federation of Industry here in Thailand, where they combine about 80% of the GDP. 40% of the GDP is from this particular federation, and things went well. Where we're talking about globalization, competitiveness, infrastructure, corruption, the ability to be flexible in the new value chain in the global markets. FTA with Europe, so all these things were discussed, as well as labor productivity, upskill, reskill, to make sure that Thailand is back and to show the world that Thailand means business. And going forward, it will be more the trade representatives, it will be from the capital markets, it will be from the banking industries, as well as the Labor Federation and SME Federation as well. So it will be a comprehensive discussion that hopefully will calm the market down, and then they will be able to see the benefits of our policies that goes beyond just a very quick fix of the economy, but restructuring the economy. So it's not just trickle down economics that Bangkok is Thailand, Thailand is Bangkok, and we demonopolize, decentralize, and make sure that our economy has a firm foundation and fair practices and fast growth going forward. So that will be the main adjustments that we will have to the economy, and hopefully that we mean something to the global economy.
Minimum wage, it has been a huge debate throughout at least like 6 months, especially during the campaign trail. Because if we remember, Pita actually proposed to increase the daily minimum wage to 600 baht, which has caused much uproar, not just from the people, but also from the private sectors, because they think that they're putting a time bomb on the businesses. But as we're seeing, the minimum wage that Pita has proposed is about 400. So it seems to be much more possible compared to the other proposals that we have seen regarding this issue.
I think what's interesting though that he set up a transitional team. It's something the Western countries has been doing when they changed the government to make sure that the transition go by smoothly. So I think that's the first in Thailand too. So it will be interesting. They move pretty fast. We try to setting up the new government. Talking about setting up the new government, if you wonder why people try to pressure the senator, that's because according to the 2017 constitution, to be the prime minister, you have to get 367 votes from the parliament. Doesn't matter how much number from what side. So if you get 267 from all member of parliament already, you can feel a little more secure, right?
Yeah.
But right now, the current coalition provide Pita with 313 votes. So he will need another 63 votes from the senators. And as of now, like Frank was just saying a little bit before, they are about 19, so less than 20 that said that they will vote for Pita. So Pita will have about 330 something votes. He still need 30 or 40 more to make sure that he will get to be the next prime minister.
Right, so currently with the combined coalition, there are 313 seats already. So apart from the Move Forward Party, its coalition partners include เพื่อไทยประชาชาติไทยสร้างไทยเสรีรวมไทยเป็นธรรมเพื่อไทยรวมพลัง and พลังสังคมใหม่ parties. So all of this, all the parties in this coalition have a combined 313 seats, and this means at least 63 votes of support are needed from the senators. And like you said, Tulip, about 20 senators have already said that they will vote for Pita, so they might need at least 43 votes. But on that day, when the joint parliamentary session comes, we will have to watch out because maybe some of the senators might change their mind and vote for Pita, or they might do the opposite as well. But if no prime ministerial candidate wins majority support from both houses, the Charter's transitional clause allows Parliament to consider outsiders for the post of prime minister. And in this case, support from at least 2/3 of parliamentarians in attendance is required to suspend the rule that prime ministerial candidates must be party nominees. And like we've said before, getting rid of the Senate's power to elect a prime minister has been high on the agenda for many of the opposition parties, including those from the anti-establishment protesters as well, because they felt that the power of the Senate is undemocratic because the senators were elected by the military junta that seized power.
Appointed by the military junta.
From the military that seized power in 2014, and the senators were chosen by the junta. And if we remember back in 2019, following the elections that year, all of the senators voted for General Prayut Chan-o-cha to continue his job as the prime minister over Thanathorn Jingruengruengkit. So many of the anti-establishment protesters are here today to pressure the senators to respect the voters' decision from the elections.
To be fair, though, a lot of senators already showed their intention that after this provision ends, the provision that stipulated that they have to participate in voting for the prime minister, it will end in May 2024, so it is next year. A lot of them that don't want to extend their power in doing this, participating in voting for the prime minister. So it will be interesting to see what's happening in the next Senate meeting, that the session to vote for the prime minister. But like a lot of academics said, they were expecting a little more descriptive of policies in this MOU because they believe the information in Memorandum of Understanding will help Senate to make decision. The one that undecided yet or the one still on the fence, whether leaning on each side but not definite. Maybe they hope that more information about what this government will do if they get to be the government will help the Senate to decide to maybe vote for Pita. But like we can see that it's 23 points. It's a lot of things that they have to do, but like one of the journalists asked yesterday in the Q&A session, it's what and why, didn't say how, and there's a lot of outstanding campaign has been left out.
And when speaking of that, anything could happen during the joint parliamentary session, which we don't know when it's going to happen. It might turn out well, though. If the senators vote for Pita, then Pita becomes the prime minister. But then if senators decided not to, then we'll have to wait and see who will become the next prime minister. So there is still a long way to go, but not too long, though, because it's going to be really soon anyway. But we'll go back to Frank right now as he's going to report some more about the rally in front of the parliament. Hi, Frank.
Hi, Frank. What's going on over there?
Actually, right now, I'm still in front of the parliament. We're still waiting for the public talk. Everything seems to delay at this moment. But actually, I want to see if this will be the replica of what happened since 2020, because actually 2020 I was also covering the protest, and actually right now we will see if this is a start point for Thailand public to start another protest. But right now we can see, of course, right now it's still really peaceful and people are still waiting for the public talk. But right now with me, there are two Move Forward supporters. They want to talk to us, actually. So I already talked to them. So what do you think about today's rally and why you come here today?
ก็วันนี้อย่างแรกเลยครับก็ต้องบอกก่อนว่าคือเรามากันอย่างสันติมากๆนะครับก็คือที่นี่คือไม่ได้มีเขาเรียกว่าอะไรสัญญาณเนาะของความรุนแรงหรืออะไรเลยนะครับมาก็คือมาเพื่อย้ำจุดยืนเนาะว่าพรรคที่ได้จำนวนคะแนนเสียงหรือเก้าอี้มากควรที่จะได้จัดตั้งรัฐบาลแล้วก็จำนวนสวเนี่ยทั้ง250คนเนี่ยก็ต้องยึดมติของประชาชนนะครับก็คือประชาชนเขาเลือกกันแล้วเนี่ยเขาก็ควรที่จะต้องเคารพ
because people already vote.
What is the important point pushing you to support Move Forward Party?
ตอบไหมคำถามนี้
อย่างแรกก็อย่างที่เพื่อนบอกไปแล้วครับว่าเขาเป็นพรรคที่ได้คะแนนเสียงมากที่สุดแล้วก็เป็นพรรคที่เราเลือกจากนโยบายแต่ทีเนี้ย
He said that he voted for Move Forward because of the policies. And he said that there shouldn't be this kind of worry about the senators. Shouldn't be worried about whether the party they vote for will get to be the government or not.
Okay, so there's last question for you guys to answer is as what I said about there are of course around 19 and 20 senators they support Pita. What's your words to those who haven't said anything or who decline to support Pita?
ก็อย่างที่ได้บอกไปครับว่าสุดท้ายแล้วคือคุณพิธาในฐานะแกนนำเนี่ยที่เป็นแกนนำ8พรรคที่ได้ควรจะได้จัดตั้งรัฐบาลเนี่ยก็มาคะแนนเสียงจำนวนใช้คำว่าจำนวนมากของประเทศอย่างเงี้ยครับก็อย่างที่บอกคือสวก็คือควรที่จะต้องเคารพตัวของพรรคที่รวมคะแนนเสียงกันแล้วได้คะแนนเยอะสุด
the party that get a lot of votes, most votes,
รัฐบาลได้
and let them form the government.
Yes, so they talk about the magical number of 376 seats. Thank you so much. 376 seats, and right now, of course, Pita they have 313 seats for now. So they still have to get more than 60 votes actually from Senate or other parties. That is very difficult for now, but we will see how people supporting Pita or supporting the today's united front of Thammasat and demonstration. This is the scene right now. For now, we can see many people actually sitting by to waiting for the public talk and the public announcement. Actually, that public announcement, I think, is very crucial because it's a kind of like a good way to hold hands with those senators who support Pita, but they also want to invite those who haven't said anything or decline to support Pita to join them too, because they think in the norm of democracy, of course, the party who win the most seats have the right to settle with other coalition partners. Right now, at the back, at the front, you can see international media and local media, and you can see some police car heading out from the parliament. We know today, actually, at the parliament, outside of the parliament, is Bampo police station. They are monitoring all the situations right now. And outside, of course, you can see some people already gathered here. But inside, of course, the riot police and the parliament police is protecting the compound. And you can see some people in their hands, they have Section 112. They want Section 112 to be amended at this moment. This is one of the core policy from Move Forward Party. Of course, yesterday we see the MOU. There is no let's make just slow amendment in the MOU because it's quite controversial. But of course, we will see how Move Forward Party to get this policy realized in the future.
We're seeing more people than just 20 minutes ago, though.
Yes.
Did you have a chance to ask the rally organizer that how much people they hope to see?
Yes, actually, I talked to Angelo, so that the staff of the organizer. He said that today, before the end of the rally, they expect more than 500 people to show up to support them. So this is not that high number, but this is one of the rally that starts the rally in 2023, and we can see this is one of the major rally to support Move Forward Party, of course, and to support Pita to become the next prime minister. I'm going to walk around. We can see some people actually, the many press, some people selling the water.
I think we see more vendors and press than the rally goers themselves.
Yes, so that's why I think they are postponed the public talk for a moment. But of course, we can see some people joining right now. So I have the chance to talk to people. And right now, I can walk around to talk to people. Let me see if there's anyone that I can check about. And you can see actually they have their own speaker and public talk here already. Actually, they talk about why Move Forward should be supported. Why Move Forward should get more votes from Senate. Okay. Let me walk around, and this is really interesting because we haven't seen this since the COVID period, because during that time, 2021, 2022, after the protests went it down because of the COVID and other issues, we haven't seen protest or peaceful rally for a long time. So today is the first in 2023 for people.
I think it will also be interesting to see whether this is scheduled to last until 8 p.m. I think it will be interesting to see that whether they're going to keep that schedule and whatnot, since it starts later than it said before.
Yes. But yeah, of course, we will see how it goes. Should I talk to this lady? พี่ขอสัมภาษณ์ได้ไหมครับอย่าถามว่าทำไมพี่วันนี้มาสนับสนุนพิธาและก้าวไกลนะครับ
เพราะว่าป้าก็เลือกพรรคของคุณพิธานะคะเลือกนายกพิธาให้มาเป็นนายก
She wants Pita to be the prime minister, so she just show up to support.
แล้วก็เมื่อก่อนเขามีสวประมาณ20ท่านบอกว่าจะสนับพิธาแล้วนะครับ
So they talk about senators that about 20 of them show intention to vote for Pita. There's a lot that still not decided. So he asked what she wants to say to them. So she said she asked the senators
คือประชาชน
to listen to the
ลง
people
คะแนนให้โหวตให้คุณพิธา
because people
เป็น
already
นายก
voted for Pita
ล้าน
to
ก
be
ว่า
the
เสียง
prime
เนี่ย
minister.
ว่าคุณแค่ 250
It's
นะ
14 million
แต่ว่า
votes and you are just
250เนี่ยก็จะมี
250.
คนที่สนับสนุนกันอยู่นะ
Of
แต่ว่า
course,
มัน
there
อาจ
are
จะ
some
อยู่
people
200
that
กว่าคน
support Pita,
อยากให้
but
คุณ
there's still a
มาโหว
lot
ต
that
ให้
not.
นายก
So
พิ
we
ธา
want you
เพราะ
to
ว่าพว
vote
กเรา
for
ก็ท
Pita
น
to be
มา
prime
แล้ว
minister.
9 ปีแต่ว่าคุณน่ะจะทน
She
พวกเรา
said
ไม่ได้
she's
นะ
been
4 ปี
suffer for
9
9
ปี
years.
8 ปี 9 ปีมันนี่พวกเรายังทนคุณอยู่ได้ใช่ไหมคะก็นายกพิธาก็คือพวกเราคือเป็นคะแนนที่บริสุทธิ์อะพวกเราเลื
She
อกมา
said it's a
พวกเรา
pure
ติดตามมา
pure
Pure
vote.
votes.
ครั้งที่ออกไปไหนก็เราก็ตามไปให้กำลังใจ ก็คือวันนี้ก็ให้กำลังใจคุณพิธาแล้วก็
So
มา
she show up to cheer
ขอบอก
cheer
ขอ
him up.
ดีๆนี่แหละค่ะ
And she
ขอ
just
ดี
like
ๆเนี่ย
it's
ค่ะ
a
อย่าโหวตส
peaceful
วน
request.
นะคะอย่าโหวตสวนมติประชาชนที่ว่าอย่าโหวตสวนมติของประชาชนที่เลือกนายกพิธามาขอให้คุณ
And ask them to
ทำงาน
not go in
ให้
reverse
มันสมกับ
direction with how
รา
people
คา
vote.
เงินเดือนคุณหน่อย 200,000 กว่าเนี่ยใช่ไหมคะเงินเดือน 200,000 กว่าแต่ว่าถามว่าประชาชนได้อะไรประชาชนไม่ได้อะไรจากคุณเลยคุณจะไปเสร็จนิดเสกน้อยอย่างประยุทธ์ให้200 300ถามว่าได้ทุกคนมันไม่ได้ทุกคนมันไม่ใช่เป็นรัฐสวัสดิการไม่ได้ทุกคนมันจะมีบางคนที่เขาเลือกให้แค่นั้นเอง
ค่ะขอบคุณมากครับ So
Okay, that was
actually,
interesting.
That was really interesting because actually this is kind of the landscape of what we've seen right now because
Right.
of course there are people voting or supporting for Pita. They want to get the policy of minimum wage to be realized. They want their life to be better. As the lady just said, they have been suffered for 9 years in the governance of incumbent Prime Minister, caretaker Prime Minister Limjaroenrat. But there's another side said that actually Senate, they have more maturity to decide who should become the next Prime Minister. So that's the interesting points. But right now we can see, of course, there are some confrontation, I mean verbally, but it is still peaceful. So let's see how it goes after that.
Okay, so I think we probably right now we're gonna come back to the studio. Thank you for your report, and we will get back to you in next like 10-15 minutes. Hopefully,
Thank
there's
you.
some more movement over there, and hopefully something on the stage.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And what we've noticed is that most of the supporters that came here are in orange. Orange is actually a color, a symbolic color of the Move Forward Party, and you might have seen that people were selling the Pita merch, the merchandise of Pita with fans that show the face of Pita, as well as other stuff that are symbolic of the Move Forward Party. And what I've seen earlier is that they also sold like clips that have an orange at the top. So orange also signifies the Move Forward Party as well. And when we talk about the fan club of Move Forward Party, they call it Dom Som. It comes from fandom, and Som means orange. So
Right.
it's like a fandom of Move Forward Party, or probably the fandom of Pita.
I have to say that there's not that many countries in this world that play politics like Sports Day.
Right. It's really interesting though, because like with the colorful vibes
Right.
from the fans and the way they use their terminology to refer to Pita or their own fandom, it's pretty interesting, and it shows that most of them are from the younger generation. The younger generation would come up with slangs and terms that reflect their ideologies as well.
Okay, so I think right now there's not that much movement in front of the parliament, and like we reported to you before, that Senate, they have their session today, but it's since the morning, and it
Yep.
was supposed to finish since early afternoon. So I believe most of them are not there at the parliament already.
Right. So because their meeting has already finished since the afternoon. But right now we can go over in terms of the process from now up until the joint parliamentary session as to what will happen. So to give you a recap, after the Election Commission has confirmed that the electoral process was transparent and righteous, they have to announce the official results within 60 days of the election or by 13th of July. And within 15 days of the confirmation, a meeting of parliament will be held to choose the House Speaker. And after the first meeting of the parliament, the new Prime Minister and the new government will be chosen by the 500 elected MPs and the 250 senators. And like we said, the prime ministerial candidate will have to get at least 376 votes from the joint sitting of the House and the Senate. So that means they need at least 376 from the MPs as well as the senators. However, the Constitution does not specify a time period for choosing the Prime Minister and appointing the cabinet. So the previous government of Prayut Chan-o-cha continues to act as the government until the new cabinet is in place. And right now, back to the parliament,
in front of the parliament
building, the speech has already begun. We're about to hear a bit of it, and we're expecting that the protest leaders will explain why the Senate should be choosing Pita Limjaroenrat as the new Prime Minister.
ประชาชนนะครับแล้วก็อาจารย์เมื่อกี้ชื่อว่าอาจารย์อะไรนะปู่เชนนะครับแล้วก็อาจารย์อนุสรณ์นะครับทั้งสองท่านเนี่ยก็แน่นอนว่าคงคุ้นหน้าคุ้นตาเป็นอย่างดีนะครับเพราะว่าเป็นคนที่ค่ำวอดในวงการการเมืองนะครับแล้วข้างหลังเรียบร้อยไหมเดี๋ยวผมขอรอไอตัวไวนิลนี้ก่อนสำคัญมากเลยเพราะว่าจะเป็นไวนิลที่สามารถสื่อสารได้ว่าเราต้องการที่จะสื่อสารอะไรกับสมาชิกวุฒิสภานะครับก็เรียนเชิญอีกขั้นนะครับที่ประชาชนที่อยู่ตามพื้นที่ต่างๆนะครับมานั่งกันข้างหน้าผมได้ครับมาให้กำลังใจกันเพราะวันนี้ถือว่าเป็นวันสำคัญพอสมควรเลยที่เราจะได้สื่อสารกับสมาชิกวุฒิสภาอย่างตรงไปตรงมานะครับแล้วก็ขอบคุณพี่น้องสื่อมวลชนนะครับมากันอย่างหนาแน่นมากๆถ้ามีมวลชนเดินเข้ามาก็รบกวนพี่ๆสื่อมวลชนที่อยู่ทางด้านหลังเปิดทางให้พี่น้องประชาชนของเราด้วยนะครับผมขออนุญาต
also inviting people in the area to join the rally. He says some people show up since like 3 p.m.
เป็นช่วงเวลาที่สำคัญแล้วก็
He
เป็น
said
ช่วงเวลา
it's
ที่
very important moment and a lot of expectation, even though the election has passed.
ยังตื่นตัวกับทางการเมืองมากพอสมควรนอกจากพี่ๆน้องๆที่เคยพบเห็นกับการชุมนุมมาก่อนเนี่ยวันนี้ก็ผมก็ได้สังเกตเห็นเยาวชนนะครับหน้าใหม่พอสมควรก็นับได้ว่าเป็นจุดเริ่มต้นที่ดีแล้วก็นับว่าเป็นชัยชนะ
He sees a lot of new faces today. It means younger people that join the rally. And he said it's a good
เชื่อฟัง
beginning.
มากเลยขอบคุณครับนึกว่าจะไม่ตกกัน ก็ตื่นเต้นครับวันนี้ที่ได้มาเจอกับพี่น้องประชาชนแล้วก็หวังว่ากิจกรรมวันนี้เนี่ยจะสร้างความรู้ความเข้าใจกับพี่น้องประชาชน
Activities today will create understanding to the
พี่น้อง
people.
ประชาชนที่มาในวันนี้คงจะทราบว่าที่มาของสมาชิกวุฒิสภาเป็นยังไงที่มาเขามาแบบไหนเขาทำอะไรมาบ้าง
And
เนี่ย
talk
ผม
about
ค่อนข้างมั่นใจ
how
ว่า
come about the senators right now.
วันนี้ก็จะเป็นอีกปัจจัยหนึ่งอีกประเด็นหนึ่งที่เราจะมาคุยกันว่าทิศทางหลังจากนี้เนี่ยหรือว่าที่เราเคยเห็นว่ามันมีสมาชิกวุฒิสภาบางท่านเนี่ยอาจจะไม่เห็นด้วยกับเสียงของประชาชนเนี่ยในเรามาคุยกันอย่างความเป็นผู้ใหญ่ซิความที่เป็นวุฒิภาวะดูซิว่าหลังจากนี้เนี่ยทิศทางของประเทศมันควรไปในทางไหนแล้วประชาช
He
นที่
said,
เป็น
let's
เจ้าของ
talk
อำนาจ
and as adult to see what direction the country should go on.
ก็หลังจากที่จบวงเสวนาวงแรกนะครับเราจะมีการอ่านเป็นจดหมายเปิดผนึกถึงสมาชิกวุฒิสภานะครับต้องเรียนตามโปร
So after this, they will have open letter to the senator as well.
So we'll have to find out what is in the open letter and what are the main requests to the senators. But it is expected that they're demanding the senators to respect the voters' decision.
Can we go out to Frank one more time before we sign off? Okay.
All right, I think we need to wrap up the live session right now because...
Okay, I think Frank is ready.
Oh, Frank is ready?
Frank
okay,
is ready?
so
Okay.
maybe we can go to Frank for one last time. Hi, Frank.
Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, so actually the public talk and the session is about to start. So you can see actually from the banners at the back of the stage, it writes that do not take our hope and dream away. So actually this is really important. Let me get Nong Mai actually is one of the activists, famous activists since 2020. Nong Mai
โอเคครับขออนุญาตที่สื่อมวลชนที่อยู่ทางด้านหน้าผมนะครับมีทางตรงไปนะรบกวนขยับ
ขอบคุณมากครับน้องไม้ So I have Nong Mai with me. Actually, Nong Mai is a very significant and crucial member of the activists since 2020. Nong Mai อยากถามว่าโซวต้องมีประมาณนี้4 คน19-20 คนสำหรับพิธาแต่ว่าเหลือก็ยังไม่บอกว่าจะสนับสนุนพิธาหรือเปล่ามีอะไรอยากคุยกับโซวไหมครับ
คือสว220 คนเนี่ยค่ะสิ่งที่เราต้องย้ำเตือนอยู่เสมอก็คือถ้าหากเขาจะมีความคิดเห็นต่อเรื่องใดกฎหมายใดหรือว่าภาพการเมืองที่ปรับเปลี่ยนไปอย่างไรเนี่ยก็อยากให้สงวนไว้เป็นความเห็นส่วนตัวเนาะไม่อยากให้ความเห็นส่วนตัวนั้นไปเป็นดุลพินิจเพื่อส่งผลต่อการยกมือหรือว่ายกมือ
use it as a judgment to raise their hands or not raising their hand for Pita
ซึ่งที่เราบอกแบบนี้ก็เพราะว่าสว250 คนเนี่ยด้วยที่มาของเขาเองเนี่ยค่ะเขาไม่ชอบมาพากลอยู่แล้วมีข้อครหาเกิดขึ้นในสังคมมากมาย
So she talked about how this set of senators being criticized by the
ยื
people.
นยันเจตจำนงของประชาชนชัดเจนแล้วค่ะว่าฉันทามติของสังคมที่อยากจะได้รัฐบาลหน้า
She
ตา
said
แบ
that
บใหม่
the
หน้าตา
election
แบบไหน
result
เขา
has
บอกเขา
shown
เลือกแล้วแล้วรวม
what
ถึง
people
นายกรัฐมน
choose.
ตรีด้วยว่าอยากได้เป็นใคร
And
หมายถึงว่าประชาชน
it's already
แต่
it's also
ก็อยาก
show
ฝากถึง
what
สวว่า
who
ไม่ว่า
they
จะมีค
want
วาม
to
คิด
be
เห็
the
นอย่างไร
prime
เราเคารพความเห็นต่างค่ะแต่ว่า
So
ท่าน
she said
ทั้ง
that
250
she
คนเนี่ย
respect
ต้องไม่ใช้
the
ความ
difference
เห็น
in
ของตัวเองมาเป็น
opinion.
ดุลพินิจในการที่จะส่งผลต่อการใช้อำนาจทางกฎ
They
หมาย
don't want them to
จะ
use
ทำให้
their personal
อะไร
opinion
ขึ้น
on this.
หลังจากนี้อะค่ะ
แต่ว่าในประเทศไทยก็มีคนสนับสนุนสวว่าเขามีวุฒิภาวะมากที่สุดให้มากกว่าทุกคนที่ตัดสินใจใครเป็นนายกได้งั้นคิดว่าเป็นยังไงครับคุณผู้อย่างนี้
มาคิดว่าเราอาจจะต้องช่วยกันทำความเข้าใจกันใหม่อีกทีหนึ่งค่ะว่าตามระบอบประชาธิปไตยเนี่ยประชาชนต้องมีอำนาจสูงสุดเนาะแล้วสว210 คนเนี่ยด้วยที่มาก็ไม่ได้มีความยึดโยงกับประชาชนเลยและตลอดการระยะเวลาที่เขาทำงานมาเนี่ย5 ปีเนี่ยเกือบ5 ปีเนี่ยก็ไม่ได้ทำอะไรที่มองเห็นประชาชนเป็นเหตุผลหลักอันดับแรกเลยเพราะฉะนั้นแล้วเนี่ยเราต้องเชื่อมั่นในตัวเองก่อนค่ะว่าประชาชนเป็นผู้มีอำนาจสูงสุดและจะไม่มีใครหน้าไหนที่จะมาคิดแทนประชาชนอย่างพวกเราได้อย่างที่2ก็คือเนื่องจากสว210 คนไม่ได้มีที่มาจากประชาชนอย่างชัดเจนไม่ได้ยึดโยงกับประชาชนเนี่ยเพราะฉะนั้นเขาก็ยิ่งไม่มีสิทธิ์เลยค่ะในการมาคิดแทนประชาชนว่าประชาชนจะได้รับสิ่งไหนหรือควรจะต้องได้รับสิ่งไหนตามดุลพินิจของเขาเองค่ะประชาชนเลือกมาแล้วและเขาควรจะต้องเคารพสิทธิประชาชนค่ะ
ขอบคุณมากครับขอบคุณครับSo actually, the first question I asked this famous activist since 2020,
Right.
she thinks about actually, of course, Thai citizen have the right to decide who is the parliament, who is the Thailand's next prime minister. And the second question I asked, because some people said that actually, of course, senator they have more maturity to decide who will become the next prime minister of Thailand, but she still emphasizes that. The owner of this country is Thailand citizen. Thailand citizen already chose who will be the next prime minister, which is of course head of multiple party, Pita Limjaroenrat, and senator, 250 senator, should respect Thailand citizens' decision. So right now, actually, we can see, of course, this is a very peaceful gathering for now, and every two sides have their saying about who should become the next prime minister. So we should see how that will become, how the situation will go in the near future. And right now, the public talk is about to start.
Right.
Okay, so usually there will be a public discussion. Thank you very much,
Yes.
Frank.
Thank you.
We believe that there will be some open letter later, but we probably have to sign off for now. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Bye.
And it's interesting how Frank gets to talk to Mai Pasarawali, who's a prominent protest figure during the anti-establishment protests during the past few years. And it's nice to see that we get to hear from her perspective as to what she expects from the senators.
If you believe Harry Potter rally, several years back. That one organized by her.
Yeah.
And I interviewed her back then. It was the time that she didn't want to show her face.
Right.
It's interesting. So now she become one of the prominent faces of the anti-establishment protests.
Exactly.
Anyway, we have to sign off now, but you can see what's going on in front of the Parliament House. But do follow us on our website and our social media to see the update what's going on. And of course, after they have open letter read out to the senators, we'll report that to you as well.
And thank you for watching and good night. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ